Right. So whenever we want to store data in the form of table, then we use two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so it stores data in the form of both rows and columns shape. The general form of a two-dimensional array declaration, if we look into, it begins with data type, then followed by array name, two-dimensional array name, and now it will have two dimensions. Okay, so that means two set of square brackets. The first square bracket indicates row size, and the second square bracket indicates column size. Okay, so how many rows and how many columns we need to specify here. So data type refers to type of elements that we are going to store in the two-dimensional array, and row size indicates how many number of rows, and column size indicates how many number of columns to be present in the two-dimensional array. Okay, so example declaration, if you look into data type, my data type is int here, then I want to store some sales data. So I give my array name as sales containing two rows and three columns. Okay, so assume I have two rows and three columns of data. Now this is the declaration of a two-dimensional array. And when you declare this two-dimensional array, say int sales of two rows and three columns, then for two rows memory is allocated. This is what we discussed. Okay, and this entire block of memory is accessed by using the single name, that is sales. And this is row 0 and this is row 1, and this is column 0, column 1 and column 2. Okay, so both rows and columns index begins with 0 here. Okay, so this element can be accessed by using the notation sales of 0th row and 0th column. Sales of 0 0 indicates this location. Okay, then this location is indicated as sales of 0 1. 0th row and first column, and this is indicated as 0th row second column, sales of 0 2, and this element is indicated as sales of 1 0, and this is sales of 1 1, and this element is accessed as sales of 1 2. Okay, so now if we want to store values into this two-dimensional array, when you declare the two-dimensional array in this form, then initially garbage values will present in this two-dimensional array. Now if we want to assign, you can assign using a assignment operator. Sales of 0 0, if you say 11, then 11 will be stored in the location sales of 0 0. Okay, sales of 0 1 is equal to 22 means 22 will be stored in that location. Sales of 0 2 33 means then 33 will be stored in the location of sales of 0th row and second column, this location. Okay, so sales of 1 0, row 1 and column 0, 44 will be stored there. Okay, row 1 and column 1, 55 will be stored, and sales of 1 2 means row 1 and column 2, 66 will be stored. Okay, now when you assign values using assignment operator, then your two-dimensional array looks in this form. The elements will be stored in the memory in this form. Okay, so you have to use the notation 0th row, first row, 0th column, first column, and second column. Whenever you draw inside in the notebook, okay, so this is how you should draw your two-dimensional array memory diagram and use this notation 0 1 0 1 2. That's it. Okay, so no need to write every time sales of 0 0 0 1 1 2 like this. Okay, so you should remember that. Now we'll see how to write a program. Okay, so to read and print a matrix. To read and print a matrix. Okay, right? So here write the comment first. Okay, so then include the header file, then begin the main. Now we want to read a matrix. We do not know what is the size of the matrix. That's why I am providing matrix of size 5 by 5, 10 by 10, some big size you provide. Okay, so afterwards you take two variables m and n to store the actual number of rows and columns. Then I and j are two loop control variables. We require two loops here. Okay, for that we require two loop control variables here. Now first ask the user to enter how many number of rows and columns of your actual matrix. Okay, so he enters two number and you store those two numbers in m and n. M indicates number of rows and n indicates here the actual number of columns in our matrix. Okay, so after that, when that means now you have m by n matrix. Now you have to read those values into the matrix. So ask the user to enter percentage d elements. Percentage d elements of a matrix. So here percentage d should take the values m by n. Okay, so that means when you have m by n matrix, then it contains m into n number of elements. Okay, so m star n you should provide here. So user enters those, say for example, 2 rows and 3 columns. If I enter, then uh, he enters 6 elements. Now you have to read those 6 elements using a 2 for loops. One for loop for tracking a rows and another for loop for tracking a columns. Okay, so the first for loop, I'm starting with I is equal to 0. That means row index starts with a 0. Okay, I should be less than number of rows and I plus plus. Then immediately there is another for loop for tracking a columns. For j is equal to 0, j less than n and j plus plus. Okay, so then you read each value using this scanf function. Scanf percentage d address of matrix of ij. Matrix of ij. Okay, so it will be stored in the matrix of I and j. Okay, so this is how we write two for loops to read values into this matrix. Now I'll show you how these two for loops together, okay, so reads into the matrix. Okay, so just let me copy this. Now first we'll see how the elements are entered into the matrix. Okay, so using two for loops, then I'll show you how these values are printed on the screen. Okay, right? Now if you observe here, when we declare a matrix of size 5 by 5, okay, but now we are asking the user to enter the actual number of rows and columns. Okay, now see here. So when this statement is executed, enter number of rows and columns. Okay, so first we'll draw the memory diagram of this matrix of 5 by 5. Okay, so when you declare a matrix of 5 by 5, then the memory will be allocated like this. For this matrix, the memory will be allocated 5 by 5. Memory will be allocated in this form. So 5 rows. Okay, so like this 5 rows memory is allocated. Similarly, 5 columns this side. Okay, so this way 5 rows and 5 columns memory is allocated here. Just okay, assume this is your matrix. Okay, then the index matrix index begins with a 0. Okay, so this is row 0, this is row 1, this is row 2, row 3, row 4, and this is column 0, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Okay, so this way the matrix memory is allocated. Similarly, for M and N also memory is allocated. Okay, so see, this is the memory for M and this is the memory for N. Assume. Similarly, for I and J also memory is allocated. Okay, so assume this is the memory for I and this is the memory for J. Okay, so this way for all the 5 variables memory is allocated. Now when this statement is executed, okay, so enter number of rows and columns. For example, you have entered 2 rows and 3 columns. Say for example, you entered 2, 3. Okay, so the first percentage D, this one, it reads 2 and stores in M. Okay, so now M contains 2 rows. That means you want to store a 2 by 3 matrix. And second percentage D reads this 3 and stores in N. Okay, so now N contains 3. Okay, so then the next printf will be executed. Then on the screen you can see enter 6 elements of matrix. Okay, so for example, you have entered the 6 elements like this, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So when it asks enter 6 elements of the matrix, you entered like this. Okay, now we need to understand how these two for loops together reads these 6 elements and stores into this. Okay, and now whenever we say that the actual number of rows are 2 and 3, okay, but we have allocated memory for 5 by 5 matrix, but we are going to store only 2 by 3 matrix. That means 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so like this, 2 rows and 3 columns. Up to this part only we are storing. Then the remaining space, this space goes waste. This entire space goes waste there. Okay, so not to worry. Now what I do is the actual matrix size I'll take. Okay, so remaining things I'll erase here. So that means now I am going to store only 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so that means now our actual matrix, you assume that this is our actual matrix. Now this is the actual memory allocated for our matrix, 2 rows and 3 columns. Right, so assume this is the 2 by 3 matrix memory. Remaining memory is there, but we are not going to use that one. That's why I erased that one. Okay, so first the outer for loop begins here. Now try to understand the concept. First, the outer for loop executes here. For I is equal to 0, I value becomes a 0 here. So then condition will be tested. 0 less than 2, yes, true. Okay, so whenever this is true, then enters the inner for loop. Okay, so when this is true, then execute the next statement. That is the meaning of loop statement. No, so it goes to the next statement. Next statement is again an inner loop. There is another loop here. Okay, so again the loop executes this statement. Okay, so first j is equal to 0, it executes. Then j value will become 0. Then 0 less than 3, 0 less than 3, true. Okay, so when the inner condition is true, then it goes to the next statement, that is scanf function. Scanf percentage d reads the first number. Okay, so it reads this first number and stores, where it stores, store in the address of matrix of ij. What are ij values? 0 0, matrix of 0 0. This entire block of memory is accessed by using the name called as a matrix, mat. Okay, so mat of 0 0, 0th row and 0th column. Okay, so then the first value will be stored here, 1 will be stored here. Clear? Okay, so then after reading this, now the inner loop is executing. Inner loop not yet terminated. Okay, so immediately the control goes to inner loop increment section, j++. It goes to j++, j value increments. Now j value becomes 1. Okay, so then again test the condition, 1 less than 3, yes, true. So again goes to the scanf function, scanf percentage d, that means read the next number. Okay, so it reads the next number, 2 it reads, and where it stores, Now see, matrix of 0 and j value is 1. Matrix of 0, 1 store into 0th row and first column. Okay, so then the second number will be stored here. 2 will be stored here. Okay, so then again goes to inner loop increment section j plus plus. Now j value will become 2 here. Okay, so then 2 less than 3, check the condition. 2 less than 3, true. Okay, so again comes to scanf function. Scanf percentage d, that means it reads the next number. 3 it reads, and where it stores matrix of I, j. So what is I value? I value is still 0 and j value is 2. 0, 2, matrix of 0th row and second column. Okay, so then the next number will be stored here. Next number will be stored here. Okay, so then again goes to increment section, j plus plus, j value becomes a 3 now. J value becomes 3. Then check the condition, 3 less than 3, false this time. Okay, so when this inner loop is terminated here, so to this inner loop, control entered by from the outer loop. Okay, so when this outer loop condition is true, it entered the inner loop. That's why when this inner loop is terminated, control from here automatically goes to outer loop increment section. This is how it executes. It goes to outer loop increment section. Okay, so I plus plus, I becomes now 1. I becomes now 1. Okay, now try to observe here. When I value is 0, that means you are storing the values into 0th row. Okay, now whenever you say I plus plus, I becomes 1. Now you are trying to read values into row number 1. Now you are trying to read values into row number 1. So I plus plus means I value becomes 1. Check the condition again. 1 less than 2? Yes, true. Okay, so when outer loop condition is true, again it enters the inner loop freshly. It enters the inner loop freshly. That means the inner loop starts again from the beginning. Okay, so inner loop executes its statements from the beginning onwards. Again it starts from the beginning. Okay, so now what happens? J is equal to 0. Again it starts from j is equal to 0. Okay, so j value again becomes a 0 here. Okay, so j value again becomes a 0 here. Okay, then check the condition. 0 less than 3, yes, true. So again enters the scanf function. So goes to scanf percentage d. That means read the next number. It reads the next number. 4 it reads. Now where it stores? Now see here, store in the address of matrix of ij. What are I values? I value is 1 here, j value is 0. Okay, 1 and 0. So that means store in this location. Then the 4 will be stored in this location. 4 will be stored in this location. Okay, so then again goes to j plus plus, j value becomes a 1. J value becomes a 1 here. So 1 less than 3, yes, true. So again scanf percentage d, that means it reads the next number. It reads the next number. 5 it reads. Okay, so where it stores? Percentage d reads 5 and store in matrix of ij. What are ij values? I is 1 and j is 1. Okay, so first row and first column. 5 will be stored in a first row and a first column. So 5 will be stored here. 5 will be stored here. Okay, so then again goes to increment part of this inner loop. J plus plus, j becomes now 2. J value becomes now 2. 2 less than 3, yes, scanf percentage d. That means it reads the next number. So 6 it reads. And where it stores? Matrix of ij. What are ij values? I is 1 and j is 2. So first row and second column. Okay, so then 6 will be stored in this location. First row and second column. Okay, so then again it goes to j plus plus. Comes here, j plus plus, j value becomes a 3 here. Then check the condition. 3 less than 3, false. 3 less than 3, false. So again goes to outer loop because inner loop started from outer loop. Okay, so when this is false here, then control automatically goes to outer loop increment section. I plus plus, I value becomes now 2. Okay, then check the condition. 2 less than 2, false. 2 less than 2, false. Okay, so then control comes out. From here, the control comes out to the next statement. If you have any statements here, then following these statements, okay, so it executes. Now using these two for loops, these two for loops, now we can read values into the matrix in this form. We can store the values in the two-dimensional array in this form. Okay, so please remember, if you want to read values into a two-dimensional array, you require two for loops there. Okay, clear, right? So now once we have read values into this two-dimensional array, now we want to print those values on the screen in the form of a matrix. Okay. Right. Now we want to print these values because they are inside the memory. Okay. So when you print onto the screen, then you can come to know whether you have stored the matrix correctly or not. Okay. So now after reading into the matrix, now you print onto the screen. So instead of just printing the values, what you do is you just print a message, the elements of matrix are, the elements of matrix are. Okay, so then close this end with a semicolon. Okay, now again to read the values, because there are two rows and three columns, each row you have to read. Okay, so you do not know how many rows are there, each row you have to read. So that means you require a for loop for reading rows. So for I is equal to 0, again you have to use a loop here. I less than a number of rows. How many rows we have? M rows. Then I plus plus. I plus plus here. Okay, so then in each row you have three columns or n columns. So for that, again to read column wise data, you require another for loop for j is equal to 0. Okay, so then j less than number of columns. How many you have? N columns, and say j plus plus. J plus plus. Okay, right? Now you say printf percentage d comma add, where from? Matrix of ij. So from the location ij you print the value. That is what we are informing. Okay, now close the loop here. Then finally after this say return 0, then close the main function. Okay, so this is how we print the values from the matrix. Okay, but when you print the values from the matrix, okay, how they are printed, I'll show on the screen so that we can make changes in the program. What is happening, you can come to know. Okay, so first I'll explain on the screen. Okay, so see here. So first what happens, this will be printed, the elements, this printf is executed there. Okay, so then you will see the elements of matrix are, this is printed on the screen first. Okay, so then you will get this. Let me erase this. So on the screen you will get this, the elements of matrix are. Okay, so afterwards now it enters this loop. Okay, so now this loop is entered here. So first for I is equal to 0, I value becomes a 0, 0 less than 2, yes, enters the inner loop. Okay, so then comes here for j is equal to 0. Okay, 0 less than 3, yes. Okay, now see printf percentage d, that means it reads the first value, where from matrix of ij, I is 0 and j is 0. Okay, so 0 is 0, that means this value will be printed onto the screen. Okay, so that means on the screen you can see one printed here. On the screen you can see 1 printed here. Okay, so the first number will be printed here. Okay, so then j plus plus j becomes a 1 here. J becomes 1. 1 less than 3. Yes. Printf percentage d matrix of 0 1. Okay, so matrix of 0 1 means 0th row and first column 2 will be printed. So afterwards you can see 2 printed there. Okay, so then see here. So j plus plus j becomes 2. 2 less than 3. Yes. Percentage d. Printf percentage d. Matrix of 0 2. 0th row and second column. 3 will be printed on the screen. Okay. So you can see 3 printed on the screen. Then after j plus plus j becomes 3. 3 less than 3 false. Okay. So control again goes to this. Okay. So control comes here. I plus plus I becomes a 2 now. Okay. So I value becomes now 1. Previously it was 0. So 1 less than 2. Yes. 1 less than 2. Yes. Okay. So again enters the inner loop. Okay. When this loop is printed here, what happens means the next number will be printed here. 4 and 5 and 6 will be printed in a row. Okay. So I'll show this and why it is printed. We'll see here. That means when j is equal to 0, j less than 3. Okay, so enter printf percentage d matrix of 1 0. 1 0 means 4. 4 will be printed here because after printing 1 2 3 the cursor will be waiting here. Cursor will be waiting here. Cursor will be waiting here. Whatever you print, it will be printed immediately in the next position. That's why you can see 4 printed here, afterwards 5 printed here, afterwards 6 printed here. But we want this to be printed in the form of a matrix. That means after printing the first row 1, 2, 3, you must force the cursor to go to the next line. You must force the cursor to come to this next line. And when it comes to the next line, 4, 5 and 6 will be printed in this line. Okay, so that you can see the elements printed in the form of a matrix. Okay, so that means what you have to do is after executing this inner loop, okay, so you must force it to go to the next line. You must force it to go to the next line. Okay, so how you can do that? That means after inner loop here, you should add one more statement called as a printf, and within the double quotes say /n. Then you can see the numbers printed in the form of a matrix. Then you can see 1 2 3 4 5 printed in the form of a matrix. Okay, right? So I'll show the execution here. Copy the program here. Okay, so then this part printing of elements. Okay, so this is for printing the elements. Then finally say return 0. Then close the program. Okay, so let me save this. So I say this as 2-dimensional array. Okay, right. Now we'll see its execution. Okay, so this for loop is for reading values into the matrix. And this for loop is to print the values onto the screen. Okay, so I am reading values into 2-dimensional array using this two for loops and scanf function. I am printing the values present in the 2-dimensional array in the form of matrix using this. Okay, so see the execution. Now I build the program. Okay, now if I run the program, yeah, there is an error. Okay, so what is the error here? Yeah, So I copy pasted. No, these double quotes gives error. Need to change these double quotes everywhere. Copy from Word file or PPT, then double quotes will be different there. Okay, so here your editor requires double quotes in another form. Okay, right. So save the program, again build the program. Okay, so no errors. Now run the program. Now see, enter number of rows and columns. Say for example, I enter 3 rows and 3 columns because I have provided 5 by 5 size. Okay, now it asks enter 9 elements of matrix. Okay, so I am entering 9 elements. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now you can enter the numbers in a row, no problem. Okay, but internally it will be stored in the form of a two-dimensional array, and when you print on the screen it will be printed in the form of matrix. Now see what is happening. There is some problem. The elements of matrix are from this printf. See here, from this printf it prints the elements of matrix are, then it is executing these two for loops and printing the values, but values are immediately one after the other, 1 2 3 4, whether it is 1 comma 2 comma 3 or 123 456 7, we do not know. Okay, so that's why what you do is when you print the values here, you provide the field width here. Okay, so you say percentage 4d here, so that you get some space between the numbers. Okay, so I am saving this program again. Now again build the program and again run the program. Now see, enter elements of matrix. Okay, so 3 rows and 3 columns, then 9 elements I'll enter. Okay, so say I say 11 22 33, you can enter in this form also. Okay, 11 22 33 44 55 66. Okay, so then 77 88 99. Now you can see the elements of matrix are, now they are printed in the form of a matrix. Even if you supply in a row, that means say 3 by 4 matrix, 3 rows and 4 columns, 12 elements. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5, if you supply all the elements in a row, okay, then they will be printed in the form of matrix, because you have given the format here. You are printing, that means after printing the first row using this inner loop, each inner loop prints each row. Okay, so after printing this first row, you are forcing the control to go to the next line using this printf /n. Okay, so whenever you say printf new line, it goes to the next line. That's why you can see 5 6 7 and 8 printed in the next line. Afterwards again it goes to the next line, 9 10 11 12 printed in the next line. Okay, so this is the code for printing the data, two-dimensional data in the form of matrix. Please remember here. Okay, for this for loop, this is the only statement to be executed. When the control comes out from this, that means when this for loop is, inner for loop is terminated, control goes to the next statement. What is the next statement? And this is the next statement. It executes this statement, and when this end of the outer loop is reached, control automatically comes to this I plus plus increment part of the outer section. Okay, that's how it executes and prints the values in the form of a matrix. Clear? Okay, right. Now what we do is we take up another program, and using matrices we have different problems to be solved, like addition of two matrices, multiplication of two matrices, we need to perform using a C program. Okay, so we'll take that program now. Is it okay now? Yes. Okay then. So we'll take another program. Now program to perform addition of two matrices. Two matrices. Okay. So this program will take. Then I'll add this. I'll save the program. Okay. So matrix addition now. This program. So I store as matrix underscore add dot c, so that you can see the colors. Now include the header file here. Okay. So then write the main. Then begin the main. Okay. So here now the question is addition of two matrices. That means to store a matrix we require a two-dimensional array. So we require two two-dimensional arrays here. So now you declare the two-dimensional arrays here. Okay. So the first two-dimensional array I am declaring as a, say for example, matrix A. Okay, so A of a size 5 by 5. First matrix. Okay, so then second matrix, again we require to store second matrix, again we require a two-dimensional array. Okay, so again another variable B, a two-dimensional array B of size 5 by 5. Okay, so then to store the resultant matrix, again we require another two-dimensional array. So you declare a two-dimensional array C of size 5 by 5. Okay, right. So these are the three two-dimensional arrays to store the two matrices and a resultant matrix. A is the first matrix. A will use to store the first matrix. Okay, then B indicates second matrix and C indicates a resultant matrix. Okay, similarly we require two for loops to read values into the matrix I and J, and similarly you declare the number of actual rows and columns. So two more variables we require M and N. Okay, so these are the variables we required here. These are the variables we required here. Okay, so first ask the user how many rows and columns are there. And when you perform addition of two matrices, the order of the two matrices should be same. That means both will have m rows and n column. Assume that. Okay. So now you say enter how many rows and columns. How many rows and columns in the matrix. Okay. Now read those. Scanf. He enters 2 by 3, 3 by 2, something. Okay, so then you read that value. So rows and columns he enters. So that means we require two format specifiers here. Then store the first number in M, which indicates rows, and store the second number in N, address of N, which indicates number of columns. Okay, right? So now you have m rows and n columns. So now immediately ask the user to enter those many elements. Yes or no? Okay, so how to, now you say enter %d elements of first matrix. Now you have to read elements into the two matrices, A matrix and B matrix. Both you have to read. Okay, so %d elements of a first matrix. Now you say enter the elements in the first matrix, comma, how many elements he has to enter? M star n values. Okay, so %d should take the values m star n. Okay, so it is, say for example, 2 by 3 you entered. So then it prints enter 6 elements of first matrix. First matrix, 6 elements you need to enter. So again to read values into the matrix, then we require two for loops. Okay, so this you should remember. For I is equal to 0, then I less than number of rows m, then I plus plus. Then again, this is for reading values into each row. Again, each row contains some columns. So for tracking columns, again you require another for loop. For j is equal to 0, then you say j less than number of columns n. J less than number of columns n, and you say j plus plus. Okay, so now read the values. Since he enters through keyboard, now use a scanf function. Scanf, now you say percentage d. Okay, so where to store? In the first matrix. So what is the name of the first matrix? A. So that means store in the address of A of I j. In the place of A of I j. Okay, so then user enters 6 values, and those 6 values will be stored into the first matrix. Okay, so this is the code for reading values into the first matrix. Okay, similarly for reading second matrix elements, again you need to write the same kind of code. Okay, so just what I do is I copy paste this. Copy this and now see here. Okay, so now here give you the message to the user that enter percentage the elements of us. This time second matrix you say. Percentage the elements of a second matrix. Okay, so he enters. Again, second matrix also has the same rows and columns. Yes or no? Second matrix also has the same rows and columns. So that's why again I should be less than m and j should be less than n. But this time scanf percentage d. What is the name of second matrix? B. Okay, so the elements must be read into B. So you say address of B of ij. Okay, so like this, now you read values into the first matrix and second matrix using these two for loops. Okay, now you have elements, first matrix elements and second matrix elements are with you. Okay, so now you need to perform addition of these two matrices. You know the logic for addition of two matrices. How we perform addition of two matrices? Addition of two matrices, how we perform? Now see here. So that means if we have matrix 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Okay, so then we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so like this, if we have two matrices, then when you want to perform addition of these two matrices, how you perform here? Okay, so elements in the same place will add 1 plus 5 will add. Okay, so 1 plus 5, this will become 6. Similarly 2 plus 6 will perform. Yes or no? Okay, similarly 3 plus 7 will perform, then 4 plus 8 will perform. Okay, so that means this is 0th row, first row. Okay, this is 0th column, first column. Yes or no? Okay, so that means 0th 0 of first matrix element and 0 of second matrix element will both add and will store in the third matrix 0 position. Okay, that means assume if this is matrix A and this is matrix B and this is matrix C, then how we'll write a statement in programming? That means C of ij. C of ij, that means 0 we are storing. Okay, so it is nothing but A of ij plus B of ij. A of ij and B of ij. This is the statement. Okay, so that means C of ij is equal to A of ij and B of ij. Okay, if you keep this statement inside the two loops, then it adds each element one by one and stores the result in this C matrix. Then you will get the resultant matrix in this form. Okay, now we add the same statement in the program. Now again we need two for loops here. Okay, so I'm just copying those two for loops. Okay, so how to perform addition? C of ij. Okay, so C of I j is equals to A of ij, first matrix 0 0 position or 1 1 position, plus B of ij. A of ij plus B of ij. Okay, so these two for loops performs addition of two matrices. Okay, so that means I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. C of 0 0 is equal to A of 0 0 plus B of 0 0, it performs. Okay, so then j increments, j becomes 1 0 1. C of 0 1 is equal to A of 0 1 plus B of 0 1. That means the corresponding elements it adds like this 0 0 here, 0 0 here. Okay, so both will be added and stored in 0 0 position again here. Okay, similarly 0 1 here and 0 1 here, 2 plus 6, and stored in a 0 1 position of a C here. Okay, so when you write statements, this should come first. This C matrix should come first here, C of ij, because resultant matrix where to store you have to specify here. So first C of ij is equal to A of ij plus B of ij. You should not write A of ij plus B of ij is equal to C of ij. That is wrong in programming. Okay, so this code is for addition of two matrices. Now, if you want, I can add a statement. Comments you can add here. Okay, so addition of two matrices is the code for addition of two matrices. Okay, so now you have the resultant matrix C. Now you print the matrix, resultant matrix. Now you print, if you print the resultant matrix, then you will come to know whether it performed correctly or not. Okay, so you know the code how to print the matrix. C matrix, if you print, then that gives. So this is the code for printing the matrix already you know. Okay, so just I am copy pasting here. Okay, so here what I do is I'll say the resultant matrix is. Okay, so here I write as the resultant matrix is. Resultant matrix is. Okay, so but here this time what happened here, printf I need to add this new line here. Okay, so then close this outer for loop here. Okay, so then say return 0. Okay, so then end this main program here. Right, now this is the code for addition of two matrices. Now see, just try to observe here. First matrix we are reading here. Okay, this is the code for reading elements into the first matrix, and this is the code for reading elements into the second matrix. Then this is the code for addition of two matrices. Simple one line, if you remember, C of ij is equal to A of ij plus B of ij. Okay, only thing is this statement should be kept in two loops. Then it performs addition of two matrices. Then you print the resultant matrix. If you print the resultant matrix this way, then the matrix will be printed here. Okay, so just I'll build the program. So what happened here? Okay, so resultant matrix name is C, no? So that's why MAT is undefined. That's why you are getting the C here. Error, mat undeclared. We have no variable called mat. Okay, so our variable name is C. That's why you have to change this variable name as a C here. Okay, so then save this again. Build the program again. Now this time no errors. Now you can see here. So enter how many rows and how many columns. Okay, so this time what I am doing is I am entering 3 rows and 3 columns. Okay, both matrices, you assume that both matrices should be of order 3 by 3. So now see, enter 9 elements of first matrix. Now I am entering 9 elements, say all ones, 1 1 1. Okay, so these are first elements. Enter 9 elements of second matrix. Okay, so then all 2's I enter. Okay, now you can see the resultant matrix is 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2, it performed 3 3 3. Now this is the program for addition of two matrices. Okay, so try to execute this program. Execute this program and see the results. Then only you will come to know how matrices are stored internally. Okay, right? So what I do is just let me just take the attendance.